Hey guys, it's Merce. Welcome back to my channel where I review horror books with a supernatural focus. In today's video, I really wanted to get into the spirit of Halloween. I bought some Halloween jewelry at the drugstore and just was really kind of getting into the mood. And I thought it would be really great to see, what's going on for October book-wise. What's coming out? Is there anything really exciting? All of the books that I picked today, I picked them because I really just thought they sound spooky, they sound scary, and they sound thrilling as well. So of course, this is not everything that's coming out in October, but something that I just curated and put together. So I hope that you find something. You can pre-order these. This is going to be a bit of a long video, so I'm going to try and do it as fast as possible. But be sure to like and comment down below. Let me know what you think about these books. Are you going to pick up any of these? Have you already read some of them maybe through an arc? And if you would like to get more videos from me that are all based around horror books, please hit that subscribe button. Now let's kick off this video with my Halloween noisemaker. Silent Key by Laurel Hightower. This is a detective supernatural mystery with elements of Nick Cutter's The Deep, Peter Benchley's Jaws, and Stephen King's Firestarter. After the loss of her husband under mysterious circumstances, former detective Cam Ambrose learns how little she truly knew him. Reeling with the grief of her loss and realization that the man she loved was a stranger, she must learn how to keep her young daughter safe from a world of the supernatural she never knew existed. With the help of her best friend Demi and reclusive neighbor Eric Morgan, she sets out to solve a decades-old mystery entangling the machinations of an obsessed killer, her husband's mistress, and a series of deadly hauntings. Wrath Becomes Her by Aidan Polydoros. I hope I said that right. If not, my apologies. Frankenstein meets Inglorious Bastards in this stunning Jewish historical horror novel from the award-winning author of The City Beautiful. Vera Was Made for Vengeance. Lithuania, 1943. A father drowns in the all-consuming grief of a daughter killed by the Nazis. He can't bring Chaya back from the dead, but he can use Kishuf, an ancient and profane magic, to create a golem in her image, a Nazi killer to avenge her death. When Vera awakens, she can feel her violent purpose thrumming within her, but she can also feel glimpses of a human life lived, of stolen kisses amidst the tragedy, and of a grisly death. And when she meets Akiva, she recognizes the boy with soft lips that gave warm kisses. But these memories aren't hers, and Vera doesn't know if she gets or deserves to have a life beyond what she was made for. Vera's strength feels limitless until she learns that there are others who would channel Kishuf for means far less noble than avenging a daughter's death. As she confronts the very basest of humanity, Vera will need more than what her creator gave her. Not just a reason to fight, but a reason to live. The Horror at Pleasant Brook by Kevin Lucia. This Halloween, a malevolent, creeping horror invades a small, isolated town nestled deep in the Adirondacks. It cares nothing for this town's secrets, prejudices, or flaws. Its only desires are to consume everything in its path and spread until nothing else remains. A small group of people stand in its way. They are the leftovers, the ignored, the excluded, and the dismissed. However, as the evil grows, they prove to be the only ones strong enough to stand and fight. But how can they prevail against this power? It is ancient, pitiless, and unstoppable. It is the Horror at Pleasant Brook. All These Sunken Souls is a black horror anthology. Welcome to the dark. We are all familiar with tropes of the horror genre. Slasher and victims, demon and possessed. bloody screams, haunted visions, and the peddler of wares we aren't sure we can trust. In this young adult horror anthology, fans of Jordan Peele, Lovecraft Country, and horror noir will get a little bit of everything they love, and a lot of what they fear, through a twisted blend of horror lenses, from the thoughtful to the terrifying. From haunted, hungry Victorian mansions, temporal monster-infested asylums, and ravaging zombie apocalypses, to Southern Gothic hoodoo practitioners and cursed patriarchs in search of Black excellence. Post-Haste Manor by Jolie Tumajan and Carson Winter. Apologies for the bad pronunciation. Never trust a house with a name. Everyone has a story about Post-Haste Manor. None of the stories end well, but that doesn't stop the hopeful from hoping and the desperate from trying. This composite novel stands as both history and eulogy of one very haunted house, as recounted by artists, real estate agents, and beloved family pets, by the debauched, the dead, and the dying, and anyone looking for one last chance. Raise a glass in celebration, just don't linger within its walls for long. This cover art is by Trevor Henderson. Some of you guys may know him. He did the Abominable logo, and he's done a ton of cool creepypasta stuff online, so we'll actually be seeing something later on in this list from him. Autumn Crow High, Fresh Hell by Cameron Chaney. So this actually already came out, I think like a week or so ago. So it's not technically an October release, but the reason why I wanted to add it to this list was because of Autumn Crow, which is a collection of stories that are all Halloween themed or fall themed, and it's just amazing. Like, I love this town that these stories are all based around. So it's a very quintessential Halloween thing. You should definitely have this in your collection if you're a Halloween freak, like most of us horror readers are. So I wanted to add Autumn Crow High because Autumn Crow in itself is a town that is like, it's always Halloween. School is back in session at Autumn Crow High. Will the class of 1994 survive long enough to graduate, or will the cursed town of Autumn Crow devour them all? Bailey Hagen is plagued by nightmares, blood-soaked visions of a boy seemingly from another town. He's so handsome, so dark, so deadly. When Bailey returns to school in the fall, she is horrified to learn that the boy from her dreams is real and is attending Autumn Crow High. Are Bailey's dreams a warning? Some kind of premonition? Or has the boy truly escaped her nightmares? Only time and murder will tell. Nefondo by Monica Ojeda. 6 young artists share an apartment in Barcelona. Kiki Ortega, a researcher writing a pornographic novel, Ivan Herrera, a writer whose prose reveals a deeply conflicted relationship with his body, 3 siblings, Irene, Emilio, and Cecilia, who quietly search for ways to transcend their abuse as children, and El Cuco Martinez, a video game designer whose creations push beneath the substrate of the digital world. All of them are connected in different ways to Nefondo, a controversial cult video game whose purpose remains a mystery. In the parallel reality of the game, players found relief from the pain of past trauma and present shame, but also a frighteningly elastic sense of self and ethics. Is Nefondo a game for horror enthusiasts, a challenge to players' morals, or a poetic exercise? What happens in a virtual world that admits every taboo? The Reformatory by Tananariva Du. I probably said her name wrong. I'm so sorry. This takes place in June 1950 in Gracetown, Florida. 12-year-old Robbie Steffens Jr. is sentenced to 6 months at the Gracetown School for Boys, a reformatory, for kicking the son of the largest landowner in town in defense of his older sister, Gloria. So begins Robbie's journey further into the terrors of the Jim Crow South and the very real horror of the school they call the Reformatory. Robbie has a talent for seeing ghosts, or haints, but what was once a comfort to him after the loss of his mother has become a window to the truth of what happens at the Reformatory. Boys forced to work to remediate their so-called crimes have gone missing, but the hints Robbie sees hint at worse things. Through his friends Redbone and Blue, Robbie is learning not just the rules, but how to survive. Meanwhile, Gloria is rallying every family member and connection in Florida to find a way to get Robbie out before it's too late. The Dead Take the A-Train. This is a collaborative book by Cassandra Kaw and Richard Cadre. Julie Cruz is a coked up, burnt out 30-something who packs a lot of magic into her small body. She has been trying to establish herself in the NYC magic scene, and she'll work the most gruesome gigs to claw her way to the top. Julie is desperate for a quick career boost to break the dead-end grind, but her pleas draw the attention of an eldritch god who is hungry for revenge. Her power grab sets off a deadly chain of events that puts her closest friends and the entire world directly in the path of annihilation. It looks like this is going to be a series, so this is going to be the very first one in the Carrion City duology. The Devil's Promise by Celso Hurtado. San Antonio is full of secrets, and 17-year-old Erasmo Cruz investigates the strangest of them. After gaining renown for surviving the city's legendary ghost tracks, he has set up shop as a paranormal investigator. But helping exorcise other people's demons doesn't seem to relieve his own. His best friend Rat has abandoned him. His grandmother is nearing death, and his own health has taken a sudden decline. None of these hardships can prepare Erasmo for the story his newest client brings him. 2 decades after a strange ritual at a rural ranch, Bradley Erickson is being hunted by the devil. In exchange for the life of his dreams, Bradley must surrender the blood of his child. The case hurls Erasmo into a dark web of cults, bargains, and broken paths. Only one thing is certain: the devil keeps his promises. Downpour by Christopher Hawkins. A sudden storm appears above an isolated farmhouse in rural Illinois, bringing with it a relentless and unnatural rain. A rain that eats away at almost everything it touches. A rain that turns people into monsters. Trapped inside his crumbling home, a father must do everything he can to keep his family from falling apart. But the rain calls to them, and not everyone wants to stay inside, haunted by memories of loss. He must put aside his painful past and find a way to keep them all safe. The rain shows no signs of stopping, and time is running out. Out There Screaming, edited by Jordan Peele. This is an anthology of all new stories of Black horror, exploring not only the terrors of the supernatural, but the chilling reality of injustice that haunts our nation. A cop begins seeing huge blinking eyes where the headlights of cars should be that tell him who to pull over. 2 freedom riders take a bus ride that leaves them stranded on a lonely road in Alabama where several unsettling somethings await them. A young girl dives into the depths of the earth in search of the demon that killed her parents. These are just a few of the worlds of Out There Screaming, featuring an introduction by Peele and an all-star roster of beloved writers and new voices. Out There Screaming is a masterclass in horror, and like his spine-chilling films, its stories prey on everything we think we know about our world and redefine what it means to be afraid. Trevor Henderson, Scare Waves. Internet horror superstar Trevor Henderson is famous for his ghastly creations and hair-raising creepypastas. Now he brings that talent for the terrifying to this debut middle-grade thriller. I don't usually do middle grade or young adult, but this actually sounds really good. I think adults will want to read it. You don't stay out after dark in Beacon Point. The small town of Beacon Point has always been plagued by eerie local phenomena. It's a town where disappearances are common. Strange creatures have been sighted with unnerving frequency, and a ghastly secret lurks in the woods. The adults in town are oblivious to these strange occurrences. Others prefer not to talk or even to think about them. But over the course of several terrifying nights, a group of kids will come face to face with the horrors hiding within their sleepy town. Guided by the mysterious radio host Ellen Graves, they must follow the clues to a terrifying secret before it eats them alive. When Ghosts Call Us Home by Katya de Becerra. When Sofia Galick was 12. She starred in her older sister Layla's amateur horror movie, Vermilion, which recorded raw footage of her very real reactions to scenes her sister concocted in their old Californian house on the coast, Cashore House. In the years after the film's release, Sophia's relationships with her sister became more strained, while her memories of the now infamous house fueled her nightmares. Vermilion amassed an army of fanatical fans who speculated about the film's hidden messages, and it was rumored that Layla made a pact with the devil, her soul in exchange for fame and arcane knowledge. Sophia dismissed this as gossip until Layla disappeared. Now Sophia must study the trail of clues Layla has left behind, returning to the very place where it all began. As she gets closer and closer to Cashore House's haunted heart, she must once again confront the ghost of her childhood, but the house won't reveal its secrets without a fight. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that series Blood Cherry. Oh, I can't remember what it was called. It was really good. Cherry something. You guys probably know what I'm talking about, right? That Night in the Woods by Christopher Triana, when Jennifer receives a message from Scott Dwyer after 20 years without contact. Her first reaction is one of excitement. Scott was her first love. Now in her 40s and in the middle of a divorce, nostalgia for her youth gets the better of her. Scott invites Jennifer to his house in Redford, the town she grew up in. It's a place she's tried to put behind her, for not all childhood memories are sunny. When she accepts Scott's invite, she struggles with mixed feelings, especially when she learns of the death of Stephen Winters, one of her childhood friends. Scott invites 3 people from their past to honor Stephen's memory: Corey, Tracy, and Mark. But the group is more than old friends. They share a dark secret that has troubled them for decades. Now it's time to face their traumatic past together. They must unravel the mystery of what happened in the patch of the forest behind Scott's house, a place once known as Suicide Woods. Blight by Tom Carlyle. James Herringley is summoned home to his rambling family mansion in Yorkshire. His father is sick and deranged, and James must confront the horrors he tried to forget. The labyrinthian house, the madness and secrets which poison their bloodline, and most frighteningly of all, the specter of the tall man. An eerie visage who promises to whisk children away and make them royalty in the land of fairy. James returns to the house and finds his father and brother at war, and the nebulous substance of his childhood brought into unbearable relief. He remembers the whispers about the tall man, but can he trust his own memories? Then the groundskeeper Janie has had her baby kidnapped, one of the many child disappearances connected with the house and the nearby village. There are those who blame the tall man, while others believe a more earthly culprit is responsible. James must sift through the ramblings of his father, the skepticism of his power-hungry brother, and the uncertain fabric of his own memories to discover the truth. Frostbite by Angela Sylvain. Remember the 90s? Well, the town of Demise, North Dakota, doesn't. They're living in the year 1997. That's because an alien worm hitched a ride on a comet, crash-landed in the town's trailer park, and is now infecting animals with a memory loss-inducing bite. And right before Christmas. Now it's up to 19-year-old Relaine and her best friend Nate to stop the spread and defeat the worms before the entire town loses its mind. The only thing standing in the way are their troubled pasts, a doomsday cult, and an army of infected prairie dogs. So that was my curated picks for what's coming out in October. Things that sounded especially spooky or unusual and infected prairie dogs. I mean, yes, that is the reason why I put that on there. It was just so funny to me. But you know, books that I am putting on my own TBR list to pick up when I can. So I just hope that you found something here today to add to your list. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me a little jack-o'-lantern. Let me know if you guys actually watched this all the way through. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to take care of yourselves, look out for each other, and I will talk to you next time.